Haven't you read the book?
Well, no. But I have seen The Greatest Story Ever Told, and I don't recall Jesus putting up any shelves. What can you tell me about the castle?
Not much, I'm sorry to say. Most of its history is long forgotten. Ah, but if these old stones could only speak, what stories they'd tell. Stories to make your toes curl and your blood run cold. You know, this castle is said to be over 600 years old.
Who built the castle?
Mad Phelan, the first Lord of Lochmarn. Well, I say lord, but actually he was little more than a village chieftain. He built his castle from the remains of the Templar preceptory.
Do you mind if I climb up your haystack to get into the castle?
What? You'd break your stupid neck for sure. Do you think I'd stand by and see your brains dashed out?
I'd be very careful, and I promise not to sue.
You won't get the chance, not while I'm here to stop you.
Where was the site of the Templar preceptory?
Right here, on Temple Hill. Phelan built right on top of the old wall. It's said that deep beneath these walls, there's a Templar chapel.
Did Pegram discover the chapel?
I don't know. His workers were sworn to secrecy.
Do you think Pegram's disappearance is due to the curse?
Look at the facts. He dug up the gem. He disappeared. Bingo! It doesn't take a degree in mathematics to work that one out, does it? You don't have to be a smarty Pythagoras with a calculator.
I guess not.
Pegram has run off with the gem.
What do you make of this tissue?
That's a sorry sight to wave about in public.
Oh, it's theatrical grease paint.
And that makes it all right, does it? I must remember that next time someone complains about the state of me handkerchief.
Would you like to shake my hand?
What is this? I don't do that mail bonding stuff.
What do you make of this matchbook?
Seems ordinary enough to me.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, but I wouldn't trust him. His eyes are too close together. He's not a friend of yours, is he?
Oh, no. Far from it. In fact, I believe it's the face of a killer.
I knew it! Piggy eyes. Can't trust him.
This is the gem that Pegram found in the castle.
So that's what all the fuss was about. I can't see why myself. Why men would fight and steal and kill over a little bauble like that.
Well, it's kind of neat the way it sparkles. Have you any use for this towel?
Whatever gave you that idea? Oh dear me, no.
Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill and heard the racket. Sure, it was an awful noise. A sports car, you say?
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car? And what was it doing here? The poor fella must have been lost.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah. He knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast he ran right under the car?
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh, no, but he has been abducted.
Well, that's a relief now.
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of superior acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle, his own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
You don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
Marvellous! I think I should start me inquiries in the bar.
He strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay. The stack of hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland. Above my head was a gap in the wall where the massive stones had fallen away. There was a narrow crack between two of the stones where the centuries-old mortar had crumbled away. I pushed my fingers into the narrow crack. It went back several inches into the rock. I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step. The top of a ladder rose out of the squarely dug hole. It was a rusted piece of iron, maybe part of a plow or something. It was the fiercest, meanest-looking old goat I'd ever laid eyes upon.
Hey, Billy.
The animal fixed on me with an evil glare. Behind the malice and resentment, there was a cool intelligence.
How you doing, boy?
I felt as threatened as I'd been by the assassin and his goons in Paris. The rope by which the goat was tethered had become tangled on the old plowshare. There was a pattern of 5 holes arranged on the wall. They'd been drilled there deliberately. Behind the altar was a carved panel decorated with animals, birds, and plants. It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall. 5 fingers of stone projected from the back of the carving. The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand. The sack contained a fine white powder. The bench had probably been used by Pegram and his archaeological team. As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was. Plaster of Paris.
I'd use